Hello, and welcome to Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh, where saving marriages, saving families, and saving souls is the flavor of the day. Now, let's join our host and author of Marriage Unchained, Catholic Alpha Radical, Jerry Jacobs Jr.
Welcome to Catholic Alpha Radical Live, where I help you fix your Catholic marriage. I've coached and helped hundreds of men in their marriages, and now I want to help you. Call 313-RADICAL now. That's area code 313-RADICAL, and ask me anything on tough marital issues, such as what to do when she's asked for divorce, what to do when you have a mutual agreement of separation but you didn't want it, what to do when your wife is cold and distant, what to do when your wife is having an affair, what to do when your marriage is bad, boring, lukewarm, and passionless, what to do when you engage in a marital embrace less than once a month, what to do when you sleep in separate bedrooms, what to do when she has left the home with or without the children, what to do when you're divorced but didn't want it. Call 313-RADICAL. That's area code 313-723-4225. That's area code 313-723-4225. Again, call 313-RADICAL right now for answers to intimacy problems, communication problems, prayer and spiritual warfare problems, authentic masculinity problems, aka how to man up. So, sit back, relax, take a chill pill, and get ready to rock. But don't duck. Can you feel it? Catholic Alpha Radical coming at you now. Hello, and welcome to Catholic Alpha Radical Live, the podcast that helps you fix your Catholic marriage while also giving you winning tactics for marriage problems, girlfriend problems, and intimacy problems for men. But moreover, where my main mission is to keep you out of divorce court, and where Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh, divorce combat coaching is the flavor of the day, while also helping men understand marriage and courting, not dating in the Catholic faith. Why? Because dating is for sex and courting is for marriage. In this 171st episode, Depressed? Try this before you get doped up at the doctor, part 1. Plus live phone calls from you, answer your marriage and crisis questions. So please remember, if you're getting value out of this podcast over the next hour, please share it and give it a big thumbs up so we can get some resolution to your marriage confusion. And so our quote of the day is, quote, "The three tensions of love. Despite the highest idealism, there are potentials for conflict in marriage. Marriage has three basic tensions, which are always inseparable from it because they are grounded in the metaphysical nature of man." End quote. Archbishop Funje Sheen, book 3 to Get Married. All right. And so, hey, first off, y'all, I'm already I moved. Most everybody knows that I moved. And so moved from the city out into from the city out into the rural area. And so out here, there's no internet, there's no phone service, there's no nothing. So I have been trying for the last 3 weeks with the best of my ability as a person to get this internet working, to get some kind of help, to get all of this going. And so finally, when I do, then I come on today and my microphone indicator is not working. And of course, the internet that I have, which I have Starlink, if all of you that don't know, I've had clients, some of my clients say it's I should get it, and then a lot of my and then out here the friars, the Franciscan friars that are out here, they have it too. And so I come on, and the darn internet is going in and out. It's not working. Now it's a strong signal. Up, just went down again. So it's going to fluctuate. So I hope that you guys can just try to be patient with me. My screen is probably going to freeze and unfreeze. And of course, my office, of course, is not set up properly, as you see. So I have been away for 3 weeks, and I'm like, look, you've got to get back and figure out a way to do this. So I'm asking you guys to try your best to be patient with old Jerry, because I'm out here in this area trying to work with me and my wife, or trying to give our lives to the Blessed Mother, to the Holy Spirit, to God. And so when you move out to sometimes serve God, sometimes it ain't, things ain't working out. It's just a little tough. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try our best to work through this. And I'm just so happy to be back. I'm really nervous today. I don't know why, but I was like, look, the phone call's gonna go out, the internet's gonna go out, my camera ain't working. The microphone is probably not working. Probably folks can't hear me. And but we're gonna try our best to see it work. Uh oh, okay. So Matthew can hear me, so that's great. Says Jay's back. Yeah, baby. Oh man, I hope this is Jay, baby. But today is gonna be like it's gonna be clunky, y'all. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna try to get this as the best I can and get back to the regular Catholic Alpha Radical Live. So today, though, I have been thinking about this for 3 weeks, this subject. And so, because a lot of people really, really, really get in trouble, I'm sorry, suffer from depression. And a lot of people do it for a small period of time. Some people have it a very long period of time. And the key is how to get out of that, how to use all of the knowledge and all the resources at your disposal to get rid of depression, because depression, man, is bad. I got a client I just signed up with 3 or 4 days ago, and he's panicking so bad, and he won't listen. He feels hopeless. Him and his wife is arguing, can't stop fighting. He's in hell and can't see his way out of it, and he's not letting me guide him out, and he's depressed, and his confidence is down, and all this kind of stuff, man. And the thing about people, especially men, we cannot allow the emotional thing to grab us, man. We are men, we're not women. And if we allow our wives to pull us into that emotional battle, we're going to lose every time. We're going to lose our confidence. We're going to feel anxious. We're going to get depressed. We're going to feel hopeless. All of these things that you feel when your world is crashing down. The main thing, man, and when you're feeling like that, is to really lean on Christ, man. That's step 2 of the 8-step battle plan in my program. You lean on Christ, man, and the tougher it gets, the tougher you lean on Christ. And a lot of guys have weak faith. And so when we have weak faith, we allow Satan to put scales over our eyes, and we just can't see our way out. So today I'm trying to over the next 2 or 3 episodes, I'm going to try my best to help you guys understand some things that you can do to really start to help yourself out of depression, instead of going to the doctor and getting doped up. And I hate that. I hate when people do that. You are a very smart, intelligent person. You are resourceful. Stop letting doctors just dope you up when a lot of times it's not needed to. Just suffer a little bit, and figure out how to get yourself right. Okay. And that's kind of like the theme of this whole day or 2 or 3 days, is for you guys to stop depending on man to do what you can do for yourself. And then if that doesn't work, then of course you go to the doctor. And then the doctor will be so much happier that you've done all this stuff that I'm going to say do, so that they can really truly diagnose what is really wrong with you. Okay. So of course, like I said, the internet's going in and out right now. Oh, it's kicking my, oh, y'all, I hate it. I'm just gonna go lie. I'm used to that AT&T fiber gig up, gig down, baby. And then my backup was in Xfinity, which was like 100 up, 100 download, and then like 25 or 30 up or something like that. And this keeps fluctuating, man, and it's driving me crazy. I'm gonna stop looking at it because it's gonna degrade my podcast because I'm gonna be all weird. Okay, so now the rant of the day. Today's subject is what are the things to try before visiting a doctor for depression, part one. And hear what I'm saying. What are some things that you can try to get rid of your own depression, which is way better than medicating yourself? Because medicating yourself, which we'll go into in a second. First, we will discuss the questions of the day to get our minds warmed up on this mysterious subject. And depression is a mysterious subject. But after I get done with this series, you are going to think it's not that really that it's really not that mysterious. You know, I can fight this. Okay. So, first, uh, the info on depression and dysthymia is referenced in the book. What to do when he won't change, saving your marriage when he is angry, selfish, unhappy, or avoids you by Dr. Jack Ito. So he's a psychiatrist kind of thing. So I've got we're going to go over the question, what is depression? And the two types. And so that you guys can kind of, before we even get started, even really understand what depression is. Okay. It's very important that you understand what depression is. And if you have it, and if you have had it long enough, man, it's deep, dude. It's deep. When you really get into it, it's deep, man. Okay. So what is depression? So some characteristics of depression in marriage are you may feel, or your wife may feel emotionless. You are, or she is, more likely to say that you don't know what is wrong with yourself, than they are to say something is wrong with you. If a wife or a husband has a mental, physical, or mood disorder, for example, depression or dysthymia, treating that should take priority. Okay. So this is what we're doing when you have marriage problems. Like a lot of guys I help, they go, man, she just crazy. She's doing all this crazy stuff. She's trying to put me in jail. She's trying to take the kids from me. She's mean. She's mad. She's angry. What am I doing? And he's like, I'm just standing here. I'm not doing nothing. Okay. And a lot of times when it comes with women, now we're going to talk about men too, but women, women too, man, you got to understand, women go through a lot more emotional trauma stuff than guys do. Okay. So that's why when your wife is acting weird, you as a man got to know this. You can't wait till she's sitting there screaming at you and trying to divorce you and trying to get you to move out and trying to get separated and all that kind of stuff. Man, you are down the road. But what you can do, even at that point, you still can get things together. But what you've got to understand is, man, when a woman's in menopause, man, that is a big thing too, to cause her to do crazy stuff. When a woman is in, if she's depressed over time, that will cause her to do, feel, messed up and depressed. If her intimacy is bad, that will, all those three things together, man, cause a woman to start to analyze her life and be the question of, what am I doing here? What's going on? Okay. So this is why I want you men to understand what depression is and what dysthymia is. Dysthymia. I'm probably saying it wrong, but I'm going to say dysthymia. And those are the two forms of depression. And then you can start to understand, once you know what's going on, you can start to understand your wife better and even yourself better and what's going on. All right. Next, depression and dysthymia are mood disorders and what we are most interested in when dealing with the avoidant, withdrawn, or perpetually unhappy spouse. Both of these mood disorders can cause a loss of interest for your marriage. Dude, that is a big one. Mood disorders can cause can cause you to be disinterested in your marriage, to be like, I don't even care about it. I don't care what she does. I don't care what he does. I'm done. I don't care. You know, mood disorders are bad, but the good thing is you can help yourself and get rid of them. Okay. If your spouse suffers from one of these disorders, the first step is to get them information about them so they can see the symptoms in themselves and hopefully seek help. And that's kind of where we're going. I am a firm believer of, if something happens to me where I get sick or I don't feel well or something's going on with my body or my mentally, I'm a firm believer of, like, I'm gonna try to get myself together first before I go to the doctor. I've been to the doctor like so many times, and they'll go, "Okay, Jerry, you're close to type 2 diabetes or something, or you have arthritis or whatever it's been." And I just say, "Look, okay, I know what I'm the numbers. You looked at my liver, you looked at my kidneys, you looked at everything. So give me 6 months and let me get myself together. And then when I come back, if it's still problems, then I'll take your high blood pressure medicine, or I'll take your what is that? What is it called? For that medicine they want you to take when you have high cholesterol medicine, or I'll take your depression medicine and all that kind of stuff." Okay. But it's very important that you try to get yourself together first, believe it or not. And when you go to the doctor's going to be good. You're going to say, "I tried this, and this, and I still got depression." Or, "I tried this, and this, and I still have arthritis. I've tried this, and this, and my knees still hurt." And then the doctor can go, "Okay, cool. You tried all of that. That's fine." So now that helps the doctor to really analyze and break down what you've done. "I fasted, tried to clear out the stuff in my body and toxins in my body. You did that?" The doctor goes, "You did that?" "Yep, I did that." "Okay, boom. I can check that off." Whatever. Okay. Now, depression. Depression requires the presence of, one, a depressed, down, or sad mood for most of the time, more days than not, for at least a 2-week period, or two, a 2-week period of loss of interest or pleasure in activities that were once enjoyed. Okay, so I'm gonna read those again because it's very important. I didn't set it up right. So, a diagnosis of depression requires these two things. Number one, a depressed, down, or sad mood for most of the time, more days than not, for at least a 2-week period. Or number two, a 2-week period of loss of interest or pleasure in activities that were once enjoyed. Okay, so check it out. You're not depressed if you don't have and I'm gonna read some symptoms too that'll help you. That's involved in that too. But basically, the time frame is a 2-week period. So if you feel depressed or down for 1 week, you're not depressed. You're not depressed. Okay. It has to be 2 weeks. Okay. And then more days than not. So if you're depressed for, say, out of the 14 days, you're depressed for 10, you're highly down for 10, then okay, you're depressed. You have depression. Okay. That's very important that y'all understand that. Okay. In addition to one of the two requirements above, at least 4 of the following symptoms must be present during the same 2-week period for a diagnosis of depression. So not only do you have to be depressed for a 2-week period of time, loss of interest in activities, depressed or down, sad mood for most of those days, you also must have at least 4 of the following 7 symptoms. Number one, significant weight loss or weight gain or loss of appetite. Number two, sleeping too much or too little. Number three, feeling slowed down like slow motion, physically agitated or restless. Number four, low energy or fatigue. Number five, feeling worthless or excessively guilty. Number six, difficulty with thinking, concentrating, or making decisions. Okay. And number seven, recurring thoughts of death or suicide or suicide attempt or a plan. Okay. So not only 2 weeks, loss of your bad, sad mood, loss of interest in activities, but you must also have at least 4 of those 7 things that I just mentioned. Now, that's just numbers. That's depression. Now, there is another type of depression that I never even knew about until I read this book. That's why, guys, it's very good to read. It's very good to read. It's very good to read about your marriage. It's very good to read the scripture, to read about the faith, watch videos, because you learn stuff that you didn't know that you didn't know. So now the second type of depression is called dysthymia, dysthymiA, if you guys want to look it up. Or it's called persistent depressive disorder. Okay. Now, just so we're on the same page, y'all, I just want you guys to know I'm not one of these people, if you listen to me anytime, I'm not down with ADP, OCD, OCP, all these different stuff that these psychiatrists then created to mess with our minds and to get us to come in and see them and stuff. Okay. But depression is not something that has been made up. Depression is something that is real. A lot of times too, it's like a lot of times with stuff like, what's that one where people just mean to all of a sudden, then they stop being mean. I forgot what that's called, but that's kind of some kind of OCP or OCD something. Now, people can, and another thing, how you can know if a mental disorder is fake, inadequate, or not real is you can control it. You can control it. When I'm at work, I treat everybody great. When I'm at home, I treat my husband like he's crap. Is that a mental disorder, really? If I can control it, then it's not a mental disorder. If I can control something, then it's not, that means I'm in control of it. I choose to do it or not to do it. Okay? This is why you got to be very careful when you let psychiatrists and psychologists get up in your head. If you haven't done, once you've done all the things and you still have a lot of problems, that's completely different. But I mean, when we're first starting out, okay? So dysthymia or persistent depressive disorder is a long-lasting, milder form of depression. A depressed mood must have been experienced most of the time and most of the days over a 2-week period of time, just like regular depression. Also, a requirement of at least 2 of the following symptoms must have been present for the 2-week period. Okay. So, 1, overeating or lack of appetite. 2, sleeping too much or having trouble sleeping. 3, fatigue, lack of energy. 4, poor self-esteem. 5, difficulty with concentration or decision making. And 6, and probably the most important one, is feeling hopeless. Okay. Now you might think, well, man, that's the same as depression. Not really. Also, the thing about it is this lasts 2 to 5 years, but it's milder than normal depression. Okay. Also, the symptoms must cause great distress or difficulty functioning at home, work, or other important areas. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, guys? I just said that. Mental disorder is just like, if I can control it, I got problem at work, I got problem at home, I got problem on vacation, I got problem wherever I am, I have the problem, and I'm not sitting there controlling it. And another reason why I can talk about mental illness, unlike other people can, because of my family. So my grandmother, and my uncle had schizophrenia their whole life, basically, for the most part. And my grandmother and my uncle, when they both died, they both had serious schizophrenia. When I say schizophrenia, I mean they had to take medicine, and that medicine, that medication, man, they were asleep all day long. I mean, they were asleep all day long. I go over see my grandmother, and I'd go in the bedroom and I'd shake her, and she'd wake up and go, "Oh, hey, baby." Hey, my grandmother loved me. I loved her. You know how it goes. "Oh, hey, baby. How you doing?" "My grandmama love you. Grandmama love you." "I love you too, grandmother." And then she talked for like 5 or 10 minutes, y'all. She go right back to sleep. My grandmother and my uncle lived together for years and years and years until my grandmother died. Then my uncle and my father lived together. And my father was always taking care of my uncle because my uncle, he'd sleep all day. And that medication put you out. And if you saw my uncle up, he'd be up for a few hours, man, a day, but man, he was mostly sleep. And it wasn't him because when my grandmother, and listen, so schizophrenia, man, when my grandmother, like one time my uncle, we lost him. He stopped taking his medication, man, and my uncle took off. My father had to go find him. I was in the Air Force. And my father had to go find him, man. He was out in the middle of the woods somewhere, dude, naked stuff. They had to get him and put him back into the mental institution, to the hospital, get him back on medication and do it right. My grandmother was the same thing. When my grandmother, if her medication was wrong or she didn't take it or something like that for a little period of time, she would get very, very angry and be hysteric, be delusional, be all kind of stuff. This is what and then my aunt, she has it too. So what I'm saying is, man, when mental disorders are real. Then ain't no joke playing around. It's not no joke playing around. And depression is one of those things where you really can't play around with it. And, it's real. It's not some stuff that they done made up to try to get you to, take all these medications and stuff. This is real stuff. Okay. So remember, dysthymia is long lasting for 2 to 5 years and can have a great effect on your marriage. So that is depression. That's dysthymia. Depression is a serious, thing. Dysthymia is a mild form of depression. It just lasts longer. Okay. Next question. Does medication cure depression or mask it? So that's another thing that you guys have to realize about medication. And so I'm going to explain, I'm going to ask another question too that has to do with this, but you've got to realize that medication, man, it really usually masks the symptoms and masks the pain. It'll take away the pain, but then you feel better, but then you go, okay, what you have to ask yourself is like, okay, why do I feel better? Like, why was I sick in the first place? Like, what's going on in my body to cause that? Just taking medication is not a good thing. And if your doctor is a good doctor, he or she's going to tell you the same thing. Like, look, man, I'm gonna give you this medication for a while, but dude, you need to be trying to wean yourself off of it after a while. You don't need to be taking this for years and years. Okay, we're gonna give it to you right now because you're in a trauma situation, but you can't keep taking this for years and years. Like people try to say, well, you could take high blood pressure for years and years. Man, how do you know that? Really think about that. That is a chemical that you voluntarily insert in your body. Okay. All right. So does medication cure depression and mask it? No, medication does not cure depression. Medication cure it. And you keep you to deal with the depression. And if you do any research on a lot of depression medications, they cause people to do weird things like kill themselves, or do depressive medications cause worse things than the depression itself. Okay. Next, how does disease work in the body? Now, look, real quick. Most people, and I didn't know this for 10, 15 years ago. I didn't know this until I read this, but how does disease work in your body? Like, how do you get sick? How does disease happen? Okay. It's very important that you guys understand that. Like, people think, oh man, I got cancer, man, because I had bad luck. Man, think about it. Man, I got diabetes because I had bad luck. That's not true. That's not true. You've got to ask yourself, like, why did I get this disease? Like, why do I have arthritis? Ask yourself that, like, if you have it. How did this happen? It just didn't happen because of bad luck. First of all, there's a lot of spiritual reasons we get sick too. There's a lot of spiritual reasons that Christ allows us to get sick. It is. Okay. But it's also a lot of things that we do to cause ourselves to get sick. And everybody knows that we cause ourselves to get sick. We just don't want to admit it. We don't know, either we don't know or we don't want to realize it. Okay. We don't want to accept it. Okay. So how's disease work in the body? So first of all, toxic material that is in. So first of all, Look at it like this, which all of you know this. Every blood cell in your body goes to every part of your body, right? It hits every organ, the brain, the kidney, the heart, down to your toes, up to the top of your head, your fingertips, everything. Okay, so let's think about that. If every blood cell hits every part of your body, okay, when we insert toxic material into our system, so let's just say right now, sugar. So we put sugar into our systems. Everybody knows sugar is bad for us, but nothing is bad for you in moderation. All right. What does that mean? You eat a piece of cake, and then you allow that cake through purified drinking water over time, or a day or two, whatever, you allow that sugar to be dispelled from your system through the kidneys, the liver, your digestive system or whatever. Okay. Okay. So the body is very beautifully made. And so it's very hard for us to get sick. Just think about it. All the people that you see that are deathly sick or really, really sick, it took a lot of years for that to happen, right? Of course. So here's how it happens. Toxic material is inserted into this bloodstream. And what does it does? So we'll say sugar, it attacks the organs. So slowly over years, it attacks the organs. It'll attack, and if a person that eats sugar every day, then you will get sick over time. You will get sick. Okay. So because sugar is a turbo. So understand that sugar is a turbo. What is a turbo? It means that if you're out in the city and you're in a convenience store and somebody pulls a gun out, right off the bat, your adrenaline kicks in and you're getting the heck out of Dodge, right? That's your adrenaline kicking in. That's why sugar is a toxin, because sugar is meant to be burned off immediately. Sugar, in order for fat to burn, sugar must be gone first. People don't really understand that fat is the fuel that the body wants to burn. So if you eat a lot of sugar and a lot of carbohydrates, which are sugar too, then in order for you to lose weight or to get healthy, then all of that sugar must be burned out of your system, so that then the fat can start to be burned, and then you burn off the fat and blah, blah, blah. Now, some people have what we call resistance to what is it called? I hate when I have a brain fart. Insulin resistance, and so it's hard for them. It's extra hard for them to burn off sugar. Okay, so every blood cell reaches every part of the human body carrying toxic material if present in the body, and over time, this toxic material causes each organ to systematically break down, which then causes the organs to overcompensate and to begin breaking down as well. So let's stay with sugar. If you're a person that eats sugar every day, two or three times a day or whatever, another thing too, man, every human body is different, just like all of us know. So you might be able to eat 10 pounds of sugar, but I might be able to eat only a gram and not get sick. Okay. Before I get sick. Okay. And this is what you got to understand. People don't understand. That's why skinny people die of diseases and stuff. People go, what? He was only 140 pounds. He looks so healthy. Well, he's eating low-fat stuff. He's a vegan, or he's eating stuff, putting stuff in his body that his body can't deal with. And guess what? Then what happens is his body starts to break down. People get cancer. You get diabetes. You get whatever. Okay? You've got to understand, once one organ gets weakened, so let's say the heart, once the heart gets weakened, then one of the other organs get weakened, like the brain or the kidney or the liver or whatever, or the pain, whatever. Okay, you guys must understand that this is how your body works, and in disease, that's how disease works over time. That once one organ goes down, the other organs compensate, which does what? It wears down the other organs, and then the toxicity in the system. Starts to overtake your body, and then that's when diseases come. Okay. Next, do we underestimate the power of God and the Holy Spirit in healing our depression? Evil and the demonic have taken over our country. Most of us are demonically oppressed. We do underestimate the power of God and the Holy Spirit in the healing of depression, y'all. The reason why is because most people's faith is very weak and they don't really understand the power of the Holy Spirit, the Trinity, and all of that. And so today people think, well, I'm just going to go out and run 5 miles. I'm going to do this aerobic stuff. People started this, what do you call it? Fasting, intermittent fasting. Man, the Catholic Church been fasting for 2,000 years, dude. That ain't nothing new. You know, and it kills me, gentlemen, how I go to church on Sunday and it's beautiful outside or whatever, and you see people walking around and it's a husband and a wife or a shack up, and they just walking the dog on the leash. They ain't got no kids. They just walking the dog. The dog is the most important thing in their life. They walking around. They have no God. Church going on. They don't care. They running. They're riding their bike or whatever. And people think that their body is that they can just keep. If I just keep my body healthy, I'm gonna live forever. You ain't gonna live forever. I don't care what you do to your body. You are not gonna live forever. The only thing that lives forever is your soul. Mistake people have is they think, well, when I die, my soul just gonna go up in oblivion and it's gonna disappear. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. The soul is energy. It cannot be destroyed except by God. And so when you die, your soul is gonna go somewhere. And the place it's gonna go is heaven, hell, or purgatory. That's what's up. Now we can all play like we're ignorant and we don't want to believe it and be in what we call delusion, the twilight zone. That's fine, but we all die. This is why it makes no sense. It makes no sense to take care of your body and not take care of your soul. It makes no sense at all whatsoever when you think about it logically. And that's the thing about the Catholic faith. It's illogical. It's the intellect. It's the intellect. And once you start thinking about things out, you start realizing, oh my God, wow, God does kind of know what he's talking about. Okay. So today it's important that we understand when it comes to depression, do not underestimate the power of the Holy Spirit in your life. Do not underestimate the power of God. Why am I suffering? Why am I depressed? Okay, we've got to start to understand these things. Okay, next, why don't people allow their bodies to heal themselves? Well, people are lazy and don't want to work to help themselves heal, which is the best way. They believe a pill is easier. People are not willing to suffer to allow their bodies to heal themselves, and doctors know it. Doctors didn't used to be like this. They believed in giving the body time to repair itself if possible. Medication used to be only meant for trauma situations. So, guys, that's what medication and stuff like that is really used to be meant for, like you in a car wreck, or back in the 1800s or 1700s or something, you in the buggy and the horse goes wild and the buggy tips over, and I done broke my leg. I've got this wound. I've got a piercing in my chest. A branch went through my stomach. That's a trauma situation, right? I've been shot in the neck and I've got to get that trauma taken care of. Yes, that is what man-made medicine is awesome for. Because you're in a trauma situation, you ain't got time. The body ain't gonna heal itself like that. You gotta be patched up. You gotta stop the bleeding. You gotta. And so that's why emergency rooms are important and trauma centers are so important, because we have a lot of bad accidents. But on a normal day-to-day basis, what doctors used to do is say, hey, what's wrong? This is what's wrong. Okay, go home, get some rest, go to bed, take some Tylenol or something. Today they would say take some Tylenol or something, get the fever down. And then the fever, another thing too, the fever is what the body is trying to help, heal. And so back in the olden days, that's what they would do. And the person would go home, the person would get rest, and normally it would work. And the doctor would come and see them like that. Now, though, people aren't like that. People are not willing to suffer that little amount of time in order to feel better and let their body take care of itself. We put medications in their body, which over time, as we know, causes disease and causes problems. Okay. So after the break, we're gonna come back and are we gonna? Yeah, nope. I think we're gonna end there for today because we're going to end there for the day. I gave you guys a lot of information for the day. And, my internet's holding up pretty good. But I wanted to lay that foundation today. And I want you guys to really understand, as with your marriage, you have a lot of power to get this fixed. But you have to have the warrior spirit, and the same thing with everything in your life. So I will be right back. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. All right, gentlemen. We are back and we are done for today. And just again, let's kind of review kind of what we went on so that you guys can kind of understand, and we'll kind of keep and kind of think about what we talked about today. Remember, we're talking about depression. And depression, there are two types: depression, severe depression, and then there's dysthymia. Dysthymia is a lot less severe than normal depression, but the kicker with that is it lasts longer. Okay. It lasts 2 to 5 years. And also with depression, in order to be depressed, you must have these symptoms for 2 weeks at least. Okay. And I'm going to read those real quick again. 1, significant weight loss or weight gain, sleeping too much or too little, feeling slowed down, like slow motion, physically agitated or restless, low energy and fatigue, feeling worthless or excessively guilty, difficulty with thinking, concentrating, or making decisions, and lastly, recurring thoughts of death or suicide attempting or planning. Okay. And so, and not just depressed for 2 weeks, also you have to have at least 4 of those 7 symptoms to let you know that you are depressed. And then, okay. So with that being said, remember how disease works in the body as well, that, organs get attacked, organs get weak, and then the disease happens. Another thing too is, so that's what we're going to do today. So tomorrow we'll probably do this in 2 episodes, it looks like, because tomorrow I'm going to cover the 10 things that you can do to help with the depression and things like that. Okay, so with that being said, we will, as we always do, end with the quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, "Society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness. Now go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is up on you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle." Thank you for listening in today. If what you heard helped you in any way and you would like more personal attention, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior marriage coaching. And remember to join the Catholic Alpha Radical Live podcast as a caller or listener every Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. To join as a caller, dial area code 313-RADICAL. To join as a listener or view the live stream, visit the Catholic Alpha Radical Live Facebook page or visit CatholicAlpha.com for Catholic marriage help that actually works. Bam!